Hi there. You've had a little bit of a break, and so have I. We finished our little spring break. I hope you did get a chance to read it. Some of you may have been very proactive and started working on Module 8. Again, it is very fun module. Great way to kind of round out the semester. There are several videos here. And I guess you say, if it's so much fun, why do you need so much help? But these are just typical issues that people have tripped into, and I have wanted to add these because just experience has taught me that I needed to add them. You do have some data files here because the labs are different now. We have left behind horticulture for you and the others, the JSP, and I don't know why I can never remember the one in the middle. I think it was SciTech Sundries, but we have now 3 other labs. So you have data files. Make sure you manage those in the same way. Make sure you've read the entire module and then review all these videos. They'll be very helpful. I can tell you by experience, when students do that, they have a much easier time managing through this module. And as it was the case with module 6 and 7, once you do Pratt last, you just replicate. The steps are the same for every assignment. So you have the Pratt last, which is due on April 20th, and then the following week you will have the other 3 labs due. The other 3 databases due. Lab 1 is gardening supply. Again, it's the same same trend, but different title. Discover Science is Lab 2, and then Marketing Analytics is Lab 3. So let me explain to you why these labs changed. We used to have one lab that went all the way through the entire course, but we had students who bought the higher level book so they could get the answers or get the databases already built, and they used to submit those. I know somebody ruins it for everybody, but anyway, all that aside, that's not available anymore. And I have a tracking device on everything, so I can see the IP address and where they get it from. Just ignore this. There is not going to be a Module 8 exam because we just don't have time. And I have woven in the Module 8 features into the final exam, which has another whole system, and I'll make a little short video about it as well. And then you have your discussion forum due on the 27th, but no exam this week. Okay? So in this particular module, you're going to work more with macros and then some sub macros. You're going to use command buttons again. You're going to create forms that have menus. You're going to use option groups. So option groups are just what they sound like. They're radio buttons, so the user can choose an option, what they want to say. You're going to use if statements again inside a macro. You're going to create data sheet forms just like you did in the last module. You're going to create a user interface macro. That is where the user can actually do something to make the macro work. So the user has to input something for the macro to know how to output or spit out the desired data. You're going to create some navigation forms. I'll show you what that means. You're going to add tabs to the navigation form. And you're going to do some moving around and some changes to the layout. It's a very fun chapter. But make sure you go through all the videos first. And let me just show you what all of this looks like. Even though, I guess you saw that just now, even though you guys don't have Module 10, I do the entire book all the time. Let's look back at our sheet. Module 8, you're going to create... there is a table, but it's created with the data macro. The account form is a data sheet with the user interface macro. The account manager form is a data sheet with the user, the UI user interface macro. You're going to have a main menu. I'll show you that in a minute. It's going to contain a reports list, and it should have a forms list. I skipped right over that by mistake. And this is your main macro. I'm going to just show you what that looks like in plain English. Okay, so Let's look at the main menu. Let's start there. All right, this is the main menu, and it includes this form on this first tab. These are multi-tabs. You've done those before. This first one is the account form user interface. So it's got a user interface, so that means when the user does something, it does something. So if I click on this, if I click on that user, I mean that name or that account name, it opens up the form you made in the last module. You see that? Let me click on another one. Works the same way. So it opens up that account master form or the account view and update form. Okay. The account manager tab works very similarly. Remember I said we were going to have an account manager form that was a user interface form. So let's click on that, and it will open up this account manager master form that you created in, I want to say you did this in module 5. I think you did this one in module 5. So that's how these work. All right, the next one is a forms list. It has buttons. You've done command buttons before, but these are very simple. They just open up, they do what they say they're going to do. Open account master form, which you created in the last module. So well, actually, yeah, you created this in number 7. This master form you did in number 5, and this one you created in number 7. Let's go to reports list. This is an option. So if I click this option, it says preview, so it's going to give me a print preview. It's going to give me a print preview of the account manager master list that you made in 6, I think module 6. So now this particular module is tying all the objects together that you've been working with all along. Alright, so you might get this. It says it's greater than the page width. This is mostly because I don't have this routed to a printer. But I could probably make this a little bit narrower, but this is the account financial report. You did this ages ago, way back early in the semester. Here's the discount report you did way early in the semester. I want to say that was module 4. I think it was module 4. This is an export feature. These have already built-in macros. You just need to tell it where you want it to go. I'm going to show you the macros, by the way. And you're going to save these so that they're in PDF format. And so all these option buttons work. So let me show you what the macros look like. I'm going to close this. So I'm going to open this in Design View. If I run this, if I just double click and run it, it'll run all the things that I just stepped through. So I want to show it to you in Design View. Alright, so this is one big macro called Forms and Reports. And these are sub macros. So the first button that we had on the forms list was Open Manager Workshop Data. Remember that? So it's Open Form. It's a built-in macro. You just have to tell it what form to open and the parameters. It says open the manager workshop data form. I want to view it as a form. There's no where condition. There's no filter. I do want it in read only, and I want the window to be normal. And the book talks you through doing all of that. And then you're going to end the sub macro. The next sub macro is open account manager master form. It has very similar commands. Very similar commands. I'm sorry. This one is the open account master form, but you see it, and all of these, for every macro you open, sub macro, you have to end the macro in the sub macro. Here, and here's where we have the previews, where you're just going to set it as a print preview. Let me show you what that looks like. And see the view, you have chosen the view to make it print preview. You can also make it to print when you open the report, but we're just going to print preview. That'll give you a print preview. All right, this is export with formatting. So the formatting is that we want it to be in PDF output and in print quality. So At the end, that's all you have. That's all that's in the macro. All of these macro actions that are built in are over here. You just choose the one you want and drag it over here, and then make the changes to it. See, there's the run macro. You're gonna use this set temp val. Make sure you read the chapter very carefully before you start. Basically, folks, there's nothing else here. This is what you're gonna do for this semester. Let's take a look at the first lab, gardening supply. It's going to be very similar, as I said, just as I did with number 7, module 7. Once you've done it for one, you will just replicate those steps. Okay, let's see. Let's just go to the main menu. So we have a customer form that has a user interface feature. There you go. We have a sales rep form that has a user interface feature. We have the forms list that has buttons. I'm not even going to click on them. They're the same. And we have a reports list with the option buttons. These are exactly the same. All right, let's look at lab 2. And we're going to go to the main menu. You have the item table that has a user interface feature. It works exactly this. It's opening up a form that you created ages ago. Well, a couple of chapters back. This opens up a table, the vendor, or just opens up the vendor table. The forms list has 3 buttons. The reports list has 6 buttons, but they're the same macros. Preview and export. Okay? I think you'll love this chapter, this module. This book used to be broken down into chapters, and I'm still having to retrain my brain that we're in modules now. Okay, this is going to be pretty much the same. Going to the main menu, and this is the way I will grade it. I will open the main menu, I'll click on one of these and make sure that the user interface option works. This is from the form you made in number 7. This is a table, and I think this is the table you updated. It's the full table when we made the final update to the table. For the forms list, I did option buttons this time instead of command buttons. And let me show you what that macro looks like. So let's go to design view. And let me see, where is that? Oh, right here. So if I click on this box, I can get it clicked. This box, this is the macro box. So let's look at the macro. All right, so there's the set. This is where you set your temporary variable with a given value. So we're going to name this that means option number. And this is language that the computer understands. So don't do anything crazy to it, okay? So this has the if statement. If the temp variable's option number is 1, then do this. Then run the macro. Here's the macro. It's the same as the other macros. Otherwise, if the temp variable number is option 2, then run this macro. Otherwise, if it's number 3, then run this macro. Otherwise, if it's number 4, run this one. Otherwise, if I click button number 5, run this one. Otherwise, if I click button number 6, run this one. Okay? And then this closes that. Closes the temp var command. I just wanted you to see what that looks like. But that's the way all the option buttons will work. The option numbers. Let me go to one that doesn't have, let me open one that has the buttons, because I don't think I showed you that. Let's open this one. Let's do one that has buttons. And design view. And let's go to this one. Let's go to the macro. Very simple. It's just a simple, the macro, this is the full macro and the command to open the master form. So it's very simple. Okay. All right, I think that's it, folks. We're almost done. Okay, have a good one. If you need anything, let me know.